What is going on, YouTube? Today I'm coming at you with yet another banger. I'm taking the Dirty Duck into the mountains. It looks like it might be raining. I'm not entirely sure though, but I gotta wear in these tires, man, and so I'm gonna just take it up, take it kind of light. I'll be able to really put on my suit and go down some of my favorite canyon roads and have a little bit of fun doing that and whatnot. But today I kind of also want to talk about, since it's going to be a bit more of a chill ride, I want to talk about how I bought this at 19 and I'm still here at almost 22. I turned 22 here in a couple of months. And I see so many young dudes, man, just want to jump immediately onto one of these. I mean, I did too, you know. These bikes are the absolute pinnacle of the sport. And this bike specifically was my dream bike for the longest, that I never thought I would be able to obtain in any amount of time, you know. But I'm blessed to have been an extremely hard worker, and I work very hard for what I got. So I was able to afford this at the age of 19, man. Straight out of high school, I bought my dream bike, and I've put 5,312 miles on it. But that's also spread between my ZX6, Ninja 400, things of that nature. So it's across multiple bikes. But the fact that I've rode one of these, and I am honestly pretty confident in saying that I've had maybe a close call since I bought this thing. And the close call I did have wasn't even necessarily my fault. I was on the highway, and there on the far left lane, there's a truck on the right, and a car, or I guess a truck in the middle lane, a car in the left lane, and I was all the way in the far left lane. Then the truck swerved to avoid debris, the car swerved even harder, and then the car was in my lane, and I had to pull a fucking stoppie doing 80 on the highway. Other than that, man, I can pretty confidently say I've had no close calls. I've gone down about 5 times between track and street. I went down once on the street. That was probably about a year ago, and that was just because of cold bald tires on my ZX6, and I was putting too much lean in a corner that had oil splattered all over it. But other than that, man, I mean, it's only been on track that I went down, and that's from pushing myself and the bike to new limits, man. And you know, that's what the track is for, is to build good habits so that when you're on the street, you're extra prepared and you're ready to, you know, prepare for the worst, so you can maneuver better, brake better, accelerate better, see things more often, and just really prevent yourself from getting put in bad situations. But what I really want to talk about, man, is it's okay to be on your 400, on your 650, even on your 600 class, you know, on your V-twin, man. Those things aren't slow, and I don't know why the internet has given people the perception that a machine that can do 150 miles an hour is slow. That does not make sense to me. 130 miles an hour, because that's not slow at the end of the day. And especially when you're riding, man, going down at 80 miles an hour feels the same on any bike that you're on. Getting rear-ended feels the same as any bike that you're on. Sliding feels the same on whatever size CC bike you're on. I've never understood all the hate for guys on 400s wearing tracksuits on the street, man. But even I was one of those guys, because it feels the same no matter what bike you're on. And it's okay to take your time to really work up and get new bikes. A lot of people want to just rush up and get these leader bikes when their skills are nowhere near matching it. Now, am I saying that I can absolutely use 100% of this bike? No, absolutely not. I can't. But I've been riding since I was about 15 years old. And I spent 2 years on my 400. Did a couple track days, did mountains every single weekend, went to the lot, practiced my slow speed maneuvers, braking. Shout out Dan the fireman, by the way, because he's one of the reasons I became as good of a rider as I am. So I would go to the parking lots, man. I'd practice my braking, my acceleration, my slow turns, you know, all your maneuvers like that are just as important as any other thing you'll learn on these machines. And so I spent 2 years on my 400 learning it in and out and pushing very extremely consistent fast lap times at tracks near me, man. So whether that was a minute and 20-second lap for 6 laps in a row, and there just isn't much I could do to get faster, that's when I upgraded my machine. And then I upgraded to a 2021 ZX6R, and I still have her, my lovely Betty White, that I'm now slowly turning into a stunt bike to learn how to wheelie, stoppie, fun stuff like that. But yet, stoppies will come in handy when you really have to brake hard. You'll be comfortable with that back end coming up. Same with wheelies on this bike. You know, I've owned her for about 2 years, and this bike will wheelie in first and second gear, no issue. Coming out of corners, hitting a bump. And when I first had this bike, I'd have the wheelie control all the way up, and it would just scare the absolute shit out of me, to be honest, because my ZX6 Ninja 400 never came up on their own. Never. But now that I'm on this bike, it's just a whole lot different, man. It's a whole different world when you have a bike that is as torquey and as fast as this. And any other leader class bike will be just the same, just power in different areas, you know what I mean? So you just really have to take your time and work your way up all the bikes, man, and experience different things. Ride dirt bikes, ride sumos, ride cruisers, ride cafe racers, ride nakeds. You know, go out there and venture. Understand what kind of riding you like to do, and get bikes that cater to that. Because some people will only ride one type of bike that's really good for, you know, canyons and track days and stuff like that, and not do what it's meant to do. And I completely get it. A lot of guys will buy bikes like these and straight line race them, and that's totally chill, because it's just like cars, man. Some people build track cars, drift cars, drag cars. There's different things, different tastes that you can do with these bikes. But what they don't understand is how much skill it actually takes to properly ride one of these, man. Because anyone can hop on this bike and do 200 miles an hour day one. Anybody can, man. Like, no MSF course experience, no riding experience. In a day, if they learn how to let the clutch out and twist the throttle, and there's a straight open road in front of them, it doesn't take much to do that, man. All it takes is just a little twist of the right hand, and you're gone. But what people don't learn how to do is watch for traffic patterns. Learn how to properly use your front and rear brake. Learn your evasive maneuvers. Learn how to properly lean the bike. Learn how to not target fixate. Learn proper riding skills that just a lot of people don't think about when they're getting into riding, man. And I'll tell you this, the moment you stop respecting your motorcycle is the moment that you are most at prone for danger. Every time I hop on this bike, I get a little nervous, man. I can't lie to you. Anytime I hop on the H2, I get a little nervous. Because these bikes are so fast and so unforgiving. You just have to understand the risks that you put yourself in every time you hop on these bikes. Like, I remember a couple years back, I forgot who I was watching. I think it was the Killer Cam. And he was talking about why he sold his R1. He sold it because, now don't quote me on this, but he sold it because every time he hopped on his R1, he was doing stupid, reckless shit. And I can attest to that, man. Every time I hop on this bike, I do not think there has been a single time where I have not gone 100 miles an hour on it. Not a single time, man. And when you think about where you should be going 100 miles an hour at, open, straight, highway, country road. That's about the only as safe as it can get place on the streets that you can go and do that kind of speed at. You still do stupid shit. Like, you're still going to go 200 miles an hour and pass a couple cars on your way to the canyons. But are you going to use over 20% of this bike in the canyons? Oh, man. And that's what people don't understand. I have arguably more fun every time I hop out on my 600. I don't have to worry about crashing a $35,000 motorcycle. Yes, crashing a $13,000 motorcycle still sucks, but it's not something that's constantly in the back of my mind, having me worried and, you know, almost hesitant to go from turn to turn. So when I'm on my 600, I'm able to, you know, really focus more on my riding skills and what I'm doing, you know, whether that's trail braking or throttle control or working on body position a little bit. Even though body position doesn't have to be, it's not as important as a lot of people think. But it's always something that you're going to think about on this bike, man. Like, just a little bit too much throttle and you're washing out, man, and you're most likely totaling your motorcycle. And for a lot of people, I just don't think that that makes a lot of sense. If that's the bike you're going to ride from day to day. And I always tell people, man, start on a 400, or at most if you have to, a 650. So whether that be a Ninja 650, a R7, Aprilia RS660, you know, if it's not in your budget to buy a $5,000 bike, and then within a year or two upgrade, you know, to a $13,000, $12,000 bike, then I tell people just go for the 650, because that's a great first bike that has enough power to teach you proper throttle control and good enough brakes to where you can practice a lot of your braking and different aspects that will help make you a better rider without you always worrying about this, that, or the third. And man, it just always sucks to see people hop on bikes that they can't control, and then you hear about them crashing or not respecting the bike's power, man. Because these bikes will fucking eat you alive. They are so goddamn fast. Stock for stock, there is nothing in the world man, there is nothing in the world that can compete with these other than absolute top end, because obviously Koenigsegg's and shit like that are going to be faster. But taking it light through here, man, just because my tires are definitely cold and the road is cold as well. Sometimes I hate being a dickhead and passing on double yellows, but a lot of these people that live up here kind of let you, but kind of sucks when the whole reason I came up here was hoping that there'd be no traffic at this time of day, but sadly I've been hitting a bunch of it. Alright guys, I think that's going to be enough yapping for today. If you're going to take away one thing from this video, man, take away the fact that it's okay to take your time to work your way up to something like this, because this is the pinnacle riding. This is a lot for anybody to handle, even top Moto GP and Moto America racers, man. I just think that everyone should enjoy riding a little bit more and just take your time, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy every bike that you own and use every bike that you own. Because I didn't buy this bike to sit it and baby it. Between all my other bikes, I still have almost 6,000 miles on it, man. And I just, I just don't want to see nobody else in this community pass away. I want everyone to survive and do well for themselves. But if you guys like this video, please like, share, comment. Love y'all, and peace, man.